Welcome on board. It's really good to have you here. Welcome, Oluseyi. It's another amazing time right here when the Pen Minds Book Club, yeah? And today we'll be taking excerpts from the book, and I'm sure we will be rounding up with this book this week so we can start with another book from next week, definitely. It's good to have you here, Shayi. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, ma. Good evening, ma.
All right, great. Good evening. All right, today's topic remains finding your passion and purpose. And yes, in today's show, we would be taking excerpts from the book 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And just to reiterate again, this book club is strictly about everything books, from book reading to book reviews to book writing, book editing, book publishing, and promotions. And it's always exciting and insightful to be here, trust me. Yeah, and the previous editions we've had thus far has been quite enlightening. A whole lot of, persons have reached out to me to say, well done. And yes, we would progress today again with another insightful moment with John C. Maxwell. All right, with how to find your passion and purpose. Are you ready for me, Shay? Should I just go ahead and take it?
I want to play it now.
All right,
Yes, ma.
thank you. All right. For the audio to come up, I could as well just get started with the topic at hand, how to find your passion and purpose. And yes, today we would be looking at it in a different light. And I just will take the book reading, and from the book reading, we'll take it up from there. We'll share certain insights that we have learned thus far from the book as well. All right, how to find your passion and purpose. Psychotherapist Nathaniel Brandon asserts the first step towards change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. If you want to change and grow, then you must know yourself. The first step towards change is awareness. The second step is acceptance. If you want to grow and change, then you must know yourself and accept who you are before you can start building your 10 questions to help you start working through that process. The first step towards change is awareness. That is acceptance. Nathaniel Brandon. One, do you like what you're doing now? I'm amazed by how many people I meet every day who don't like doing what they do for a living. Why do they do it? I understand the necessity of having to make a living. We've all done jobs we didn't love. I worked in a meat packing plant when I was in college. I didn't like that job, but I didn't stay there my whole life either. Doing something you find unfulfilling forever is a disaster. If I had loved it and it had fit my passion and purpose, I would have stayed there and tried to build a career. But it wasn't what I wanted to do. Philosopher Abraham Kaplan noted, if as Socrates said, the unexamined life is not worth living, so the unlived life is worth examining. If you're not enjoying what you're doing for a living, you need to take some time to examine why. Is it a risk making a change from what you're currently doing? To do what you want to do, you need to find a balance between where you are and where you're headed. Of course, you might fail. You might find out that you don't like it as much as you expected. You might not make as much money, but isn't there also a risk in staying where you are? You might get fired, you might take a pay cut, or worst of all, you might come to the end of your life feeling regret for never having reached your potential or doing what you love. Which risk would you rather live with? Now, the second question to ask yourself is, what would you like to do? Before I go further with the second question, I'd like to say shout out to you. Blessing, thanks for joining us. And yes, shout out to you again, Jay. Thank you for staying here. And we're looking at finding your passion and your purpose. And certain questions you need to ask yourself. And the first question is, do you like what you're doing now? The second question is, what would you like to do? There's definitely a direct connection between finding your passion and reaching your potential. TV journalist Maria Bartiromo says, every successful person I've met has a strong sense of ease or our unique abilities and aspirations. They are leaders in their own lives and they dare to pursue their dreams on their own terms. Indeed, there is definitely a direct connection between finding your passion and reaching your potential. Have you found and harnessed your passion? Do you know what you would like to do? When you do, it makes all the difference. Why? When you tap into your passion, it gives you the E and E factor. That is energy and excellence. You will never fulfill your destiny doing work you despise. Passion gives you an advantage over others because one person with passion is greater than 99 who have only an interest. Passion gives you energy. As a kid, all I ever wanted to do was play. I didn't like work, but I learned the power of tapping into my passion when I transitioned from high school to college. In high school, I was simply marking time. But when I go to college, I was working in areas connected to my purpose. I was pursuing my passion. That got me excited. I'm still excited about what I do. Now that I'm in my mid 60s, people ask me when I will retire. To be honest, that's not on my radar at all. Why would anyone want to quit doing what he loves? Nothing's working unless you'd rather be doing something else. Want to know when I'll retire? When I die. That's when I'll stop speaking and writing books. That's when I'll stop doing what I'm doing right now. How do you know what you want to do? How do you tap into your passion? Listen to your heart. Pay attention to what you love doing. A winning journalist and author, Thomas L. Friedman advises. So, whatever you plan to do, whether you plan to travel the world next year, this year, or go to graduate school, join the workforce, or take some time off to think, don't just listen to your head, listen to your heart. It's the best career counselor there is. Do what you really love to do. And if you don't know quite what that is yet, well, keep searching. Because if you find it, you'll bring that something extra to your work that will help you ensure you will not be automated or outsourced. It will help make you an untouchable radiologist, an untouchable engineer, or an untouchable teacher. If you never figure out what you want to do, you'll probably be frustrated all your life. Author Stephen Covey observed, how different our lives are when we really know what is deeply important to us. And keeping that picture in mind, we manage ourselves each day to be and to know what matters most. Knowing yourself and what you want to do is one of the most important things you will ever do in this life. All right. Before we go further on the other questions that you should look at when you need to find your passion and your purpose, I would like to ask you, Shay, and of course, PB, you could join us right here on stage. I just sent you an invite now. Feel free to join up on stage and let me hear from you what insights you were able to pick from that, from the questions shared just now. Welcome on board. Good to have you here.
Okay. Good evening, ma.
Good evening. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Right.
Yes. So, um, from what you said, I picked out the fact that I have to be passionate about what I would love to do. If I want to fulfill my potential, I want to get to the top of my career. I have to put in passion. I have to be very, very passionate. That is, I have to like what I am doing because if I don't like what I'm doing, in the long run, I'll probably not get so ambitious. I won't even really want to, should I say, pursue it so much. But whatever I find to do, I must also make sure that I have passion towards it. Because passion, apparently, I think it will drive me to become better. It will drive me to know more. It will drive me to do more, to sacrifice more time. So it just, brought me to a realization that if I don't have passion in something, it's going to be hard to do it so well.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I truly appreciate that. If you don't have passion in a particular thing, it's difficult to do it well. Thank you. PB, you like to share? I know you joined us at some point, but would you like to share anything based on what you heard thus far? You can actually unmute your mic.
Okay, sorry, ma. I was trying to figure out how the online. Okay,
That's
it
what
works.
I've meant.
Um, Good evening. Okay, so what I learned was that it's okay not to know your passion at the moment. You can always search for your passion. You can always continue to explore, and what you love, you will never want to stop doing it. Your passion, your purpose, and your what you're passionate about, you never want it to end. You always want to keep on going and going and going and going and going. So one thing to kind of gauge if you're actually on the right path is to check if you love what you're doing. So that's something I learned.
Thank you so much for sharing that. We'll just move on to the third question, apart from the other two we shared. Now, the third question to ask yourself when you have to find your passion and your purpose is, can you do what you would like to do? Sometimes we actually find ourselves desiring to do certain things, but we perhaps do not even know how to go about doing those things. So, this question is important. Can you do what you would like to do? Now, here are the excerpts from John C. Maxwell. When I was a minister, I once had a young man named Bobby working for me. He was my worship leader. If you're unfamiliar with that role, it's the person who prepares the music for a Sunday service, leads the other singers and musicians, and actually leads the congregation in singing. I could see that Bobby was an unhappy person, and I suspected that he would rather be doing something different. So one day, I sat him down for a heart to heart talk. He confessed that he was really unhappy. I asked him, Bobby, what would you like to do? He hesitated a moment and then confided in me. I would really like to be the announcer for the Chicago Cubs baseball team. All I could think of was this: you're going to be unhappy for a very long time, Bobby. I mean, he didn't have the skills to do that job. Even if he did, the job wasn't available. I told him we needed to find something more realistic that aligned with his gifting and opportunities. There's a big difference between having a dream that propels you to achieve and pulling an idea out of thin air that has no connection with who you are and what you can do. I feel so strongly about helping people with this problem, and I wrote a book about it called Put Your Dream to the Test. You must have some kind of criteria for knowing if the desire you have matches the abilities you possess. Warren Burners has also developed something to help people with this issue. He offers 3 questions you can ask yourself to identify if what you want to do is possible. Ask yourself this: what is the difference between what I want and what I'm good at? Do I know the difference between what I want and what I'm good at? Now, these two things don't always match up. I believe that was the case for Bobby. What he wanted and what he could do were two different things. To be successful, you need to be doing what you're good at. Another question Warren Bennett suggests that you ask yourself is this: do you know what drives you and what gives you satisfaction? Sometimes people get it in their heads to do something for the wrong reasons. Maybe the job they want doesn't look like hard work, when in fact it is. Or they want the rewards that come with the job, not the work itself. When what motivates you lines up with what satisfies you, it is a powerful combination. The third question Warren Bennett suggests is: do you know what your values and priorities are? And what your organization's values and priorities are? The more you can align these two, the greater your chance of success. If you and your employer are working at cross purposes, success will be difficult to achieve. Measuring the differences between what you want and what you're able to do, what drives you and what satisfies you, and your values and those of the organization reveals many of the obstacles between you and what you want to do. At that point, the question you need to ask yourself is whether you're able to overcome those differences. One of the main keys to being successful and fulfilling your purpose is to understand your unique talent and to find the right arena in which to use them. Some people have an inherent ability to know who they are and who they are not. Others have to work hard to make those discoveries. Poet and critic Samuel Johnson observed, almost every man wastes a part of his life in attempts to display qualities which he does not possess. Almost every man wastes a part of his life in attempts to display qualities which he does not possess. Your goal should be to waste as little of your life as possible. Discover your uniqueness today, then discipline yourself to develop it. The fourth question to look at in relation to finding your purpose and passion is: do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? Do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? I believe it's very important not only to know what you want to do, but also why you want to do it. I say that because motives matter. When you do right things for the right reasons, it gives you inner strength. When things go wrong, right motives help you to build positive relationships because they prevent hidden agendas and incline you to put people ahead of your agenda. Doing something for the right reasons also keeps life less cluttered and your path clearer. Not only is your vision clearer, but you also sleep well at night, knowing you're on the right track. The work that I do is a calling on my life. When I lead or communicate, I think I was born for this. It relies on my strength. It gives me energy. It makes a difference in the lives of others. It fulfills me and gives me a touch of the eternal. I believe you can have the same kind of satisfaction and can experience success if you do the things you were meant to do and do them for the right reasons. Take time to reflect, explore your intentions and attitudes. As psychiatrist Carl Jung advised, your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. Who looks outside dreams, but look who looks inside awakens. The first four questions you should ask yourself relate to what you want to do. As I said at the beginning of the chapter, you must know yourself to grow yourself. That's the law of awareness. But I want to help you to do more than just know what to do. I want you to have a sense of how to start with moving in that direction that will help you to target and eventually fine tune your growth. With that in mind, the remaining questions will help you to create a game plan. The fifth question is, do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? But before we go further into these questions, I would like to know what you think about the four questions shared already. PB, would you like to share an insight? Remember, this is not just a one-way thing where I share and just talk. We would like a discussion as well on what you've gotten thus far and how you think this relates with you and what you think you can apply with these questions. Over to you, PB. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right, go ahead. Let's hear from you.
Okay. So, the four questions, were they questions, or I was when I was listening to that, I actually thought they were statements. To be honest, okay. But what I learned from what you just said and the four question is actually to check deep into myself, that with and put into perspective everything I call a passion and a passion right now. I should check within myself, is it really a passion, or is just a dream? Is it realistic? Is it something I can do? Is it something I can, that even though everything goes wrong, I will still want to do it? So that's something I got from the questions, and now I can apply it to myself. I what I can do next is actually go down, sit to myself, and analyze my future, analyze my life. Like, okay, with the things you're doing right now, are they taking you to where you need to be? And is this a passion you will want to continue for life?
Oh wow, great. Thanks for sharing that. Quite beautiful insight shared there, Phoebe. Well done indeed, truly. You need to fine-tune what you're presently doing, look into yourself and ask yourself simple questions. Shout out to you, Blessing, right there on stage. See you, welcome on board. And the reason you need to ask yourself questions in relation to what you're doing today is just as Phoebe just said now, to know if it's something that you would like to do forever, if it's something you can hold on to all your days, if it's something you will never want to retire from, and of course, it's necessary to also check with your skills. Does it relate to what you really want to do? Beyond me having a passion for this particular thing, is this something that I'll be willing to do all the way? And is this something I can do? Yeah, I know it's very possible to learn skills. You can always build up and learn one or two things. But remember, one of the things it said, one thing you should do as a person is find ways to waste very little parts of your life, because every man has a tendency to waste a part of his life trying to do things that he does not have the qualities for, or trying to do things that he perhaps shouldn't be doing. And this is where finding your uniqueness comes in, finding yourself. And it really takes a lot of deep awareness. Shout out to you, Vivian. Thanks for joining us. um, you could join us on stage after we take the next reading. and we've been discussing finding your passion and your purpose. And some of the questions we shared earlier as we got started is, do you know what you want to do? Do you like what you're doing now? Where would you like, or what would you like to do? And can you do what you would like to do? So there's a difference between I know what I want to do and I can actually do what I want to do. And we share the story of somebody who wanted to take a job that really wasn't in reality, wasn't realistic, doesn't even exist. And one of the things Johnson Maxwell says about Bobby was, you're going to be unhappy for a very long time because you're looking out for things that are not realistic. You want a job that does not exist. And in fact, if it does exist, you don't even have the skill for it yet. And the thing that you can do right now, you're not willing to harness it. And so it's necessary that you come to that point too, where you find this is what I want to do, this is what I can harness, this is what I can eventually build up on. And I'll take the fifth question for in relation to finding your passion and your purpose. We'll go on with the reading now. Please do well to pen down some things so that we can discuss it once we're done with this part. Now, the fifth question is, do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? To move from what you're doing now to what you want to do is a process. Do you know what it will take? I believe it begins with awareness. Darren Hardy, the publisher of Success magazine, says, picture where you are in any area right now. Now picture where you want to be. Richer, thinner, happier, you name it. The first step toward change is awareness. If you want to get from where you are to where you want to be, you have to start by becoming aware of the choices that lead you away from your desired destination. Become very conscious of every choice you make today so you can begin to make smarter choices moving forward. You cannot change direction if you aren't aware that you are not headed where you want to go. That probably sounds obvious, but have you taken the time to look at where your current choices and activities are taking you? Spend some time really thinking about where you are presently headed. If it's not where you want to go, then write out what steps you need to take to go where you desire to go, to do what you want to do. Make them as tangible as possible. Will they definitely be the right steps? Maybe, maybe not. But you won't know for sure until you start moving toward and ensuring that you're making forward steps toward that direction. And that takes us to the next phase. Action, action, and action. You cannot win if you do not begin. The people who get ahead in the world are the ones who look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. That means taking initiative. It means doing something specific every day that will take you another step closer to your goal. It means continuing to do it every day. Nearly all successes are the fruit of initiative. Remember, you cannot win if you do not begin. The people who get ahead in the world are the ones who look for the circumstances they want. And if they can't find them, they make them. Accountability. Few things prompt a person to follow through like accountability. One of the ways you can do that is to make your goals public. When you tell others about what you intend to do, it puts pressure on you to keep working at it. When We might want to pause a bit to think about that in relation to accountability. When you tell others about what you intend to do, it puts pressure on you to keep working at it. I'd like to ask a question. Do you agree with that? Because sometimes we are of the opinion that I think I should keep my goals to myself or keep my dreams and my desire to myself until it manifests. What do you think about that? Does anyone want to make a comment in relation to that? If you do, please blink your mic. And then I'll send an invite to you right now, Vivian, and welcome. Shout out to you, Tim Takwa. It's good to have you here. Send an invite to you, Vivian and Blessing. And the question here before you joined in, Tim Takwa, was, do you think it is really important to share your goals with other people so that you can achieve it better? Because one of the things we just read in the book by John C. Maxwell, 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth Under Accountability, it says that you can request or you can tell others about what you intend to do. Because telling others about what you intend to do puts pressure on you to keep working at it. Do you agree? Does anybody want to share in relation to that? You can blink your mic. Okay, great. Let's have you, Tim Takwe. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Victoria. I'm so glad I was able to come
Hi,
up.
Tim Takwe. Good to have you here.
I've missed a couple of opportunities to be on your platform, and I'm so grateful I'm here. Okay, so just in a quick response to that, I believe that it's important for us to be selective about who we share our goals with. While I agree with John Maxwell on the fact that sharing your goals with others puts pressure on you, um, and I believe that it is good to share your goals with others because it also makes you accountable to someone. Not only it does apart from putting pressure on you, it makes you accountable, and it sort of gives you focus. And God bless you if you have chosen the right people to share your goals with. Now, these people will help to keep you on track. If they see that you're veering off your track, they will remind you of your goals. However, if you share your goals with the wrong people, um, chances are they would discourage you or deter you in one way or the other. So I believe that it's important for us to choose people we will share our goals with. I think it's important that we also have the right people skills to categorize people in our lives. Even Jesus Christ had different categories of people. So he had the crowd, the multitude. The Bible says he didn't commit himself to them. So he didn't share his intimate secrets with the multitude. The multitude didn't know that there was going to be a time when Jesus Christ would be taken away from the earth. They just knew that there's this man, a great man of God, Jesus, and he's here. And they might have felt that they might have calculated, oh, he's about 30 something, so he probably will be here for 60 more years or plus or minus and so on. He never shared his intimate details with them, but with the 12 and then with the 3 and 1, he shared more detailed experiences with them. So that means that it's important for you to categorize people in your life, and you decide, okay, does this person come into my inner circle? If yes, what details am I willing to share with this person? So is this person someone that will push me towards my goal, or is this person someone that would discourage me from my goal? Now, sharing your goals with someone does not necessarily that someone does not have to be your does not necessarily have to be a member of your family, because bearing in mind, excuse me, bearing in mind, there are people in your family that do not see what you see. So you need to be sure that these are people that see what you see, or are forward thinking just as you are. And you need to be sure that there are people that when you share your goal with them, they will challenge you and tell you, oh, you mean, oh, you want to make 1 million naira per month. Why 1 million naira? Why not two? So they'll push you even further. So you need to be sensitive enough to know people by who they are. So I'm going to use my mic here so I don't keep talking. Thank you very much. Kevin?
Wow, that was brilliant. I totally agree with what you said in relation to being careful about who you have to relate or relay your goals with and tell exactly this is my plan. It has to be someone that will drive you and will also put you on track, like you said. Does anybody else want to say one or two things in relation to this? You can blink your mic or we'll just move on with the book reading. All right, and the space of 5, 4. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so I would say with what you said, I agree with what you said, but one thing I believe is that surround yourself with people that are better than you, that you aspire to be in every field of life. Um, and so when you share your goals with them, to you the goals may look so big and there's actually like you can do bigger than that. But if you're okay actually being accountable for people who are not even seeing something like that, they'll be like, are you not doing too much? Are you know, as she said, are you not doing too much? Or they'll downcast you and make you even feel like you're over dreaming. So I believe that the people you should be accountable to people who have gone ahead of you, so that you'll be able to be more motivated to achieve those goals. Because if you keep it to yourself, it's not yet a reality until you tell some, like until you actually begin to say it. It's not a reality until you actually tell someone about it and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And then it becomes a reality to you because you're conscious of it, and then you're like, okay, I need to do this because I've already said it. So I need to do it. So if it's only to yourself, you won't really achieve much as you will achieve when you tell someone that is ahead of you, or like a mentor or something.
Wow, great. Thank you so much for sharing that. It tells us that accountability is something you should do eventually, but with people who are better than you, are ahead of you, who can help you. I believe we're still sharing the same thing, but then you need to be careful too, not to share with people who would put you down. Someone shared a story with me in recent time, and this is very recent. She missed an opportunity, a huge opportunity, to take a position in an office early this year because she spoke to someone who gave her an advice that definitely was just off point, off our path, and caused her to miss that position and opportunity. And when she was talking to me, she said something that was quite profound. I can imagine sharing this experience or this particular goal with you, with someone like you, Vicky, or someone else who would be able to point me towards the right direction. I definitely wouldn't have missed this opportunity. And so it's necessary that we're sharing with the right people and people who would definitely put us on track. So we'll just move on with the reading. It says, when you tell others about what you intend to do, it puts pressure on you to keep working at it. You can request that specific individuals ask you about your progress. It's similar to having a deadline to keep you moving. You can even write things down as a form of accountability. That's what Darren Hardy suggests. It says that you should track every action that pertains to an area where you want to see improvement, whether it relates to finances, health, career, or relationships. Simply carry around a small notebook, something you will keep in your pocket or purse at all times. And a writing instrument, says Adi. You're going to write it all down every day without fail. No excuses, no exceptions. As if Big Brother is watching you. It doesn't sound like much fun, right? I know. Writing things down on a little piece of paper can be, but tracking my progress and missteps is one of the reasons I've accumulated the success I have. The process forces you to be conscious of your decision. decisions. The next one is attraction. If you become aware of the steps you must take to do what you want to do, take action and become accountable for following through, you'll begin to produce the behavior you desire and you'll start getting closer to doing what you want to do. And that will start to result in a positive side effect. You start attracting like-minded people. The law of magnetism and the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership says, who you are is who you attract. That is true in leadership, but it is also true in every other aspect of your life. As my mother used to say, birds of a feather flock together. If you want to be around growing people, become a growing person. If you're committed, you attract others who are committed. If you're growing, you attract others who are growing. This puts you in a position to begin building a community of like-minded people who can help one another succeed. The sixth question in relation to finding your purpose and passion is, do you know people who do what you'd like to do? Do you know people who do what you'd like to do? My greatest growth has always come as a result of finding people ahead of me who were able to show me the way forward. Some of them have helped me through personal contact, but most have helped through the books they've written. When I've had questions, I found answers in their wisdom. When I wanted to learn how to lead better, I looked to Melvin Maxwell, Bill Hybels, John Wooden, Oswald Sanders, Jesus Christ, and hundreds of others to show me the way. If I've learned how to communicate more effectively, it's because I've learned from Andy Stanley, Johnny Carson, Howard Hendricks, Ronald Reagan, Billy Graham, and hundreds of others. If you have discovered what you want to do, start finding people who do what you want to do with excellence. Then do what you must do to learn from them. Get committed. People pay for their time if necessary. So the first one is commitment. Then be consistent. Meet purposefully every month with someone who can teach you. Be creative. Start with their books if you can't meet with them in person. Be purposeful. Spend 2 hours in preparation for every hour of interaction. Be reflective. Spend 2 hours in reflection for every hour of interaction. Be grateful. Those people or these people are gifts to your personal growth. Be sure to let them know. Always remember that you cannot get to where you want to go to on your own. You will need the help of others to guide you on your way. The seventh question in relation to finding your purpose and passion is, should you do what you would like to do with them? If you're someone who is dedicated to personal growth, you will always be learning from many people in many places. Occasionally, you will have an opportunity to be mentored on an ongoing basis by an individual. Being mentored by someone who is successful in your area of interest has great value. And I'll discuss it more thoroughly in the Law of Modeling chapter. However, I pause now to give you an advice as you approach a mentor. If you find a potential mentor, know that the following are your responsibility. Possess a teachable spirit. Always be prepared for the time you get with your mentor. Set the agenda by asking great questions. Demonstrate how you've learned from your time together. Be accountable for what you've learned. As someone who has mentored a lot of people, I can tell you what I think the responsibilities of a mentor are. My responsibility to the people I mentor is to add value. My goal is always to help them to become more than they are, not to try to make them something they are not. These are the areas I focus on. One, their strengths, temperaments, track record, passion, choices, advice, support, resources, people, game plan, feedback, and encouragement. For each of these areas, think about what specific contribution you can offer to the person you're mentoring. One of the people I've enjoyed investing in is Courtney Macbeth of Norfolk, Virginia. The second time I met with him, he said the following: here's what I asked. Here's what you shared. Here's what I did. Now, can I ask more questions? With someone who follows through like that, my answer is always yes. Take note of the questions again. Here's what I asked. Here's what you shared. Here's what I did. Now, can I ask more questions? Every person who can help you is not necessarily the right person to help you. You must pick and choose, and so must they. Your goal should be to find a fit that is mutually beneficial for both mentor and mentee. The eighth question you need to ask yourself in relation to finding your purpose in passion is, will you pay the price to do what you want to do? Will you pay the price to do what you want to do? Also, an educator, James Storm, said, probably the most honest self-made man ever was the one we had say, I got to the top the hard way, fighting my own laziness and ignorance every step of the way. That sure has a lot of truth in it, doesn't it? When it comes to barriers to success, we are usually our own worst enemies. Several years ago, I came across a piece called Dream Big. It's full of encouraging words, but also captures what it takes to follow your dreams. It says, if there ever were a time to dare, to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. If there ever were a time to dare, to make a difference, to embark on something worth doing, it is now. Not for any grand cause, necessarily, but for something that tugs at your heart, something that's your aspiration, something that's your dream. You owe it to yourself to make your days here count. Have fun, dig deep, dream big. Know, though, that things worth doing seldom come easy. There will be good days and there will be bad days. There will be times when you want to turn around, pack it up, and call it quits. Those times tell you that you are pushing yourself and that you are not afraid to learn by trying. Taking the steps necessary to live your dreams and do what you want to do will cost you. You will have to work hard. You will have to make sacrifices. You will have to keep learning, growing, and changing. Are you willing to pay that price? I certainly hope you are. But know this: Most people aren't. With this said thus far, I like to say the ninth and tenth question. But before I go into that, does anybody here have something to say in relation to the insights shared thus far on finding your passion and purpose? If you'd like to share, please blink your mic. While I take shout out to you, Princess, and Beatrice right there on stage. I see you. Thank you for joining in. All right, you'd like to share an insight based on what has been shared thus far. Please blink your mic and go ahead and share. Vivian and Blessing, would you like to share? Okay, at the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Or just go on with the ninth question you should ask yourself in relation to finding your purpose and your passion. The ninth question is, when can you start doing what you'd like to do? Ask people when they will do what they want to do. And most answer that they hope to do, most answer that they give is, I hope to do it someday. Why not now? Because they're not ready. Perhaps you're not. But if you wait until you are, you may never be able to do it. Note this, most of the accomplishments that we achieve in life begins at an attempt. You need to make attempts before you even really become ready. You need to start now. And so the best time for you to get started in life is now. When I was teaching pastors leadership in 1984 and they asked for ongoing teaching, I wasn't ready to give it to them. But during the conference with 34 people in Jackson, Mississippi, I decided to pass around a legal pad and get the contact information for anyone who wanted to receive a monthly leadership tape. All 34 signed up. Was I ready to start a monthly leadership subscription series? No. Did I start it anyway? Yes. When I needed to raise money to relocate my church, did I not? Did I know how to do it? No. Did I start to do it anyway? Yes. When I founded Equip to teach leadership to people in countries around the world, did I have a proven strategy to get it done? No. Did we get started anyway? Yes. Nobody ever got ready by waiting. You only get ready by starting. And the last question to ask yourself in relation to finding your passion and purpose is, what will it take and what will it be like when you get to do what you would like to do? I hope you've learned a lot today. There are two great days in a person's life: the day you were born and the day you discover why. I want to encourage you to seek what you were put on this earth to do, then pursue it with all your effort. Thank you so much. And that was excerpts from the book 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. I'm so sure that we've been able to learn one or two things. And at this junction, I'd like to ask you to share or perhaps ask one or two questions. And we'll be rounding off this room in exactly 4 minutes from now. So if you have something to share with us, you have an insight, or you have a question, please do well. I think that this book has really touched me personally a lot. I'm waiting for you, though. If you have something to share, you can blink your mic. But I think that one of the things that we can do in life is applying the law of awareness to life. You must understand what you want to do, what you would like to do. I get to meet people sometimes who tell me they don't even know what they want to do. They don't know what they're passionate about. And the truth is, one of the things you need to do to find out is start now to explore the things that you've always wanted to do. Ask yourself the questions, what would I like to do? I mean, what people do you watch and you admire? What skills do you admire in other people? When I picked up the skill of writing at age 9, I remember that when I was 7, I picked up my elder sister's piece. She had wrote something, a very short story, into a small paper, and I'd squeezed it and put it somewhere. And I picked it up and I saw it. I went through the lines and I was thrilled. Like, oh my God, can someone actually write like this? If it's possible for my sister to do it, then I can. And that was how I picked up writing till date. And it's just something that you need to find out what you admire in other people. What skill do you admire in other people? That's another way to even find out what you like to do. What talents, skills, and opportunities do you possess that support your desire to do it? You can also marry your desires with the opportunities around you, with the skills you already have, the talents you have. What are your motives for doing what you want to do? And what steps must you take to begin today? Remember, you cannot just spend time daydreaming about what you want to do, thinking about it and not doing it. Someone says you need to apply the 5 4 3 2 1 seconds rule and the rule of just do it now. Just get started, do it anyways. It may not appear as beautiful as you want it to get started from the onset, but taking action and becoming accountable would help you to becoming accountable with the right persons. Remember, with the right mentors would help you, position yourself to become all that you can be. And of course, to get started on your journey. And whose advice do you think you need to, get into that place that you want to get to? Whose advice do you need? You can start now to paint pictures of people you have around you who can advise you in the right way. And then, of course, what price do you need to pay? You need to learn them now, know them. For instance, the price I'm paying right now, having this session and made other things, it's just something I just need to pay every week. And then over time, until I'm able to attain the desire that I want with this book club. It's just normal for us to do the things that we need to do because we need to grow and we need change. So we would channel our focus on the things that would help us grow, learn, grow, and achieve our desired results. All right. This session is supposed to end in exactly 1 minute. Okay, Shay, you want to say something? Oh, all right. I think that was network. All right. It ends in exactly 1 minute. If you have just one thing to share, perhaps we should hear from everyone. One thing that we can actually pick from before we go. All right, PB, let's hear from you. Just one thing. Are you there? Blessing, are you there? Okay, go ahead.
One thing I learned and I got is that no, he said something about I'm just paraphrasing, but where he said that even when it's hard, you have to keep on going. And I just learned that you never give up on your dreams just because it's hard, or you're in your passion or on your purpose just because it's hard, or it doesn't look like what you envisioned it to be yet. You keep on going, even when you know how to do it. When you do not know how to do it, do not wait until you're actually an expert in it, because you'll never really get there if you're trying to wait. um it is through doing it that you even become like an expert, because practice make perfect. So that's one thing I learned, that I can go for the things I know my dreams and my aspirations. I can go for it regardless of the fact, even though I do not know 100% what I'm doing. So that just encourages me to go for what I want to go for without holding back.
Wow, great. Thank you for sharing that. I truly appreciate that. Yes, you must really go for what you want to go for without looking back or without holding yourself back. All right, Blessing, you have something to share. I have two blessings here, by the way. Shout out to two of them. The Blessing just spoke right now, and then Blessing right beside her. Go ahead. Do you have something to share? Blessing. Oh, wow. All right, Vivian, you want to share something? All right. All right, without further ado, we'll just come to the end of the session. I'd like to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, PB, thank you, Vivian. Thank you, Blessing, for being here today. It was pretty much amazing having you here on finding your passion and purpose. Next week, we'll be looking at adding value to yourself. Same time, 5:30 p.m. Oh, sorry, Wednesday, by the way, is when we're having the next session, 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. West African time. I look forward to having you here again. And just in case, just to redirect the room, if you're not following the room yet, please do well to click on the green icon right beside the topic. And yes, do well to follow the house, the Pen Minds Book Club. Please do well to follow us, and we just get involved with everything books, from book reading to book reviews to book writing, book editing, book publishing, and promotions. You have one of those you want us to help you with, we are here and happy to help you. Just do well to send me a message back channel, and I have got your back. All right, time to say goodbye. Goodbye to you. Thank you so much. Yeah, till we come your way again next time, same time on Wednesday. Do have a great time. Bye, Blessing. Bye, Vivian. Bye, everyone. Bye, PB.
Bye.